In the bottom left, our red Terran. He's down one game. Can he come back? We'll see. One of the most handsome Terrans in the GSL. There he is. Take it all in, guys. Handsome fellow.
Certainly is.
But, that's right. Oh, really? See, we got international nerds here. Very nice.
Making fun of his friend and everything, man.
Yeah, man, that's what you got to do. In the upper left, the handsome rival of MMA. He is.
You know what the only reason a Swedish person would be watching from Sudan is?
No, I don't.
He's in Sudan, obviously. That's like the easiest question. It's like gave you a gimme, man.
I don't know, man. Sorry, I'm not good at this. What unit was that? Was that a Marauder?
Yeah, it certainly was.
What? There's some kitchen. What is it called? A strainer?
Yeah,
the Marauder has a strainer for a head. Yeah, he wears a strainer.
Yeah. He's like the Goomba from the Mario movie. He's got this little tiny head on this huge body.
Oh, you know, the Mario movie was so weird.
It was the worst thing ever created. Let's not
like,
even talk about it.
No, I think we need to talk about this.
Do we?
Because I remember like, we were pretty young when that movie came out.
We were pretty young, man.
But I remember, I went and saw the Mario movie and I was like, what happened? I just don't.
Well, it was the opposite
What did
of
you
good.
do to Mario?
It was like the most terrible thing ever.
I was like, that's not a Goomba.
No, it wasn't
No,
Goomba
that's-
at all. It was actually the reverse of a Goomba.
I was
They're
like,
let's interpret this in a different way than truth. So
I'm like,
right.
You know, if you look actually, because that was actually basically like, I think the movie was made by Westerners, right? That was like Westerners screwing up.
I don't
Japanese
care who
game
it was,
character.
man.
Sometimes you see the opposite of this, like in some of these older Japanese games. You'll see the old Ninja Turtle games. Like
Yeah.
you're like fighting stuff that's not from the Ninja Turtles movie. I'm like, who are these guys? Like, that's not a foot soldier or one of those mouser things.
That's quite true. Well,
remember the Dragon Ball Z movie? Whoa!
Yeah, that I had to pause it.
That
like,
movie plays 24 hours a day in hell, Artosis.
Yeah. I had to pause it like 10 times and just re-go to that part to finish it because I was like, well, I'm the sickest Dragon Ball Z fan of all time. I have to watch it. And it was like, I wish I hadn't. I wish I could go back in time and just tell myself no.
Do like the Men in Black thing and erase your memory?
Yeah, that would be nice.
There is actually...
No, because I wouldn't do that because then I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't hate whoever made that movie.
You're so
and
smart.
I need to hate that person. Hate shouldn't exist, but in this case, it absolutely
I actually saw the Dragon Ball Z movie on a plane, and I was just like, oh my god, I don't even know. I think I should just turn this off and stare at the seat.
Yeah.
That's how bad it was. All right, on to this game.
Well, we do have a double gas going for Optimus as well as for MMA. Looks like they may both be going for Cloak Banshees here. In fact, Cloak starts for MMA immediately.
Before the Banshee even.
Yep. And Optimus still going for a Starport, but he's making a Siege Tank, he's making Marines. I think Optimus is going to do a very similar build to the last game, where he's really ready with a strong early push. But MMA, he's not going Command Center first this time. He's going to be much more prepared, especially with Cloak Banshees.
You know, I really got to say that when I watch Optimus Prime play Terran vs. Terran, you can really see the guy is quite gifted. I mean, he just reads things so well.
He does read things pretty well, Tastes. That is for sure.
And I think
what happens when you go to school. You get good at reading.
Yeah.
Have to read books all the time.
He wears glasses. He reads lots of books.
Clearly.
Is it true? I've heard that reading a lot of books is actually not so good for your eyes. I mean, obviously, it's more important to read the books.
I think
I've heard that somewhere.
I think it just matters. Do you strain your eyes whilst reading?
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. And look at that. The scan sees the factory with no add-on. That tells him it is Banshee.
Giveaway. Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to see the starport to know.
Without any doubt. And if you see two gases, which he did see as well, that means Cloak. Because if you're just going Banshee off of starport, you don't need Cloak.
So, that's actually why we see a lot of Terrans just scanning the
you don't
over
need
the orbital.
Gas. I just totally fumbled what I was saying.
It's okay. I was just going to let it slide. But
Thank you.
We have the Banshee now moving in here to the back of Optimus's base.
He's got a micro well against these Marines. A missile turret is being thrown out. Very smart by Optimus. And it's getting a little bit messy.
He was actually hitting that turret for a second.
Well, I'm sure that's something he would love to get out of there. Doing a lot of damage.
Getting a lot of kills here. Oh, very nice. We have a Banshee coming in here to the MMA's base, hitting the Tech Lab. That's an interesting move.
Yeah, and actually, little does he know, if he went after the mineral line, there's only 2 Marines out here, Tasteless.
Yeah, I think he's assuming that there's actually more
Yeah, I don't
or
know what's going on with that.
turrets or something. I don't know what
It's a little
exactly
bit,
his game plan is from here.
A little bit of a mistake there. But we do have Cloak going up as well. For
I don't even
Optimus.
feel like Optimus is actually watching this Banshee very carefully. The Banshee's attacked both the tech labs.
Seems like he's so busy microing his own base, and look at that, does end up taking out the Banshee. But a lot of damage has been done.
Banshee's cloaked. SCV's coming out to try to repair this. You know, this is an interesting move here because this does force SCVs to come out to repair that.
Yeah.
So I guess this...
well, he still has 10 kills on it, and...
No, he's going to get out.
Ooh, saving the blue flame upgrade.
Oh, no, he didn't. Excuse me. I thought he was going to escape.
Yeah, no, but he saved the blue flame upgrade, so MMA is going to be very, very happy about that part.
Second Banshee now coming in here. He's got to be careful.
He does have another scan left after this, so he can go ahead and continue to kill that. But he has a Raven on the way as well. He may just let that Tech Lab die. Tech Labs do not take that long to build. They aren't that expensive.
Well, the upgrade's finished, too, so it's actually okay. And look, he's going to make the barracks, make the next Tech Lab. Probably swap that right over there.
Well, we have a Raven out and ready, and there's a Raven as well, so both players get their Ravens out. And the Banshee does die as the Raven comes out. That's so Raven.
That is so Raven. That Raven's going to be going to a rave later on.
Yeah. Rave on! It's like flame on.
He's going to have his baby sucker in his mouth and his glow stick wiggling around. Looks like the Blue Flame Hellions peeked up the ramp. And you know what? This game might actually turn into the exact same game as what we saw before. He can actually attack. You see the bunker on the low ground.
Well, MMA is getting ready to land his command at the expand, but Optimus is expanding as well. You know, I feel like both of them are kind of much more ready than last game. Even though still MMA doesn't have a huge great army, he may be able to hold it off this time. You know, he's not completely caught off guard. Now, as far as SCVs go, they're very even, by the way, Taste, if I may interject for just a moment. 30-28 at the moment, so pretty even overall, but we do have 7 more supply for Optimus.
Now, realistically, the only thing that Optimus has to do here to get ahead is force the orbital to lift off, go back into the main. Uh-oh! Hellions bumping into those siege tanks unexpectedly. I think we may see MMA bring down a lot more SCVs to try to repair this. See that, guys? See how much damage that does, how quickly those bunkers get destroyed?
And he's going to want to lure those Marines up with that Banshee there, and nice micro this time.
Auto turret again.
Great auto turrets.
More auto turrets being casted down here. But the siege tanks are in siege mode. Those SCVs are going to have to get in front of the siege tanks, most importantly. But, you know, it's not entirely clear.
And MMA will hold.
Whose Banshee is that? Is that MMA's Banshee?
That's MMA's Banshee right there, man. Can't tell who's that easily when they're cloaked, but they each have 1 Banshee left over. And wow, this has turned out a little bit weird, I have to say.
Yeah, kind of a funky game here.
And once again, their SCVs are very similar, and their supplies are pretty much the same right now.
Their supplies are identical right now.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, this 1 Banshee, though, parked over here, as long as it can stay out, it's going to do a ton of damage here.
Meantime, Micro in here, and look at that. He might be able to get that siege tank as well. Some more Marines are on the way to try to help it. Oh, but they turned around. They're scared.
They're coward Marines.
Oh, and he's gonna lose it.
You know, MMA, remember last time he flew that Banshee into a turret? He pulled the best foe you. Well, I think we saw a little bit of that again just there. Counterattack here with Hellions. Is Optimus going to be prepared? He does have a Banshee, tanks, and Marines, but then again, Hellions are pretty fast. They may opt to just not engage and, in fact, just go around.
Yeah, you may try to do a run-by or something, but they do run away. That would have been a lot of damage, and he's got to be scared at the top of that ramp. He does know that there's a wall in, so if that's up and he tries to run by, things go poorly. Look at this. I love this right now, Tasteless. There's very little anti-air over here for Optimus, and this Banshee is just going to work at the moment. With only a few Marines out, it's not even scared. It's picking off these SCVs, picking off mules. It's really greatly done with this Banshee. It's really giving MMA a leg up.
MMA is fighting right now for his tournament life. This Banshee's pretty low on HP, but MMA very carefully backs up, knowing that just 1 or 2 shots from a Marine and that Banshee will crash into that abyss. Yeah. See how dramatic I made that? It actually would have just blown up, but I make it sound like it crashes into an abyss.
Where do you think the pieces go, Tasteless?
Into the abyss.
Yeah. So that's kind of like crashing into the abyss.
Kind of.
Well, we see that Optimus, once again, he's opting for... Optimus does opt,
yeah,
I must say.
No, he can.
For Marine Siege Tank Marauder.
Very... it's middle of the road play, that's for sure.
Yeah, you know, if he doesn't do the transition into mass siege tanks with it, I'm going to be wondering a little bit what his thought process is, because when you go up against a pure mech composition, you can't really stay on Marine Marauder. You can use them to help supplement, to gain map control, get an extra base up, and help supplement your siege tanks in a contain scenario as you transition into, you know, more flying units and more siege tanks. But anything other than that is a little bit short-sighted.
Have you noticed how good MMA is at moving these Hellions all over the map? He's actually checking every possible location for anything hidden.
Yeah, that's actually quite
It's a sign
beautiful.
of a very good player.
Thank you for pointing that out, Taste. This is quite true. You know, that's one thing not enough players do yet. You have to constantly scout the whole map. What if Optimus had an extra base up?
Yeah.
You know, almost every time someone hides a base in StarCraft 2 pro games, you're like, wow, this is making a huge difference because people don't scout well enough.
You know, we may see yet another push here from Optimus. He's definitely been the one who's been the aggressor in this game. And I think what he wants to do is, he knows that mech is very powerful, which is what MMA is going for, but he also knows it's hard to get mech set up and going.
Exactly.
It takes a while.
Well, I think that it's a great timing for him to go out there and see if he can do any damage. And he might be able to, but MMA is setting up in a nice location.
Yeah, I don't know if he can go into those seats. Like, oh, we have a drop over here. Excuse me.
Oh, very nicely done. That's slowing down the Optimus push. Well, he's taking care of that. And here we go. Optimus is just going for it, man. But he has a lot of units here. And we'll have to see that.
He may regret this. He's stemmed. He's committed.
I think he may have enough here.
Well, actually, apparently, yeah, he has way more than enough.
Yeah, MMA out of
I did not
position.
actually think that MMA was going to lose that badly. I'm a little surprised. I guess it's the few Marauders in that group really messes everything up.
Oh, they certainly do, Tasis. I mean, but here's the thing. With mech, you have to actually just kind of turtle up for a moment. You know, you have to sit in front of your base and really have the most defensive posture possible so things like that don't happen.
Looks like he might actually hold this. There's one Banshee that's damaging all of Optimus' units. I mean, but Optimus is actually taking out so many workers.
Yeah.
And if you look at the supplies, that's really where the story's been told. 64 supply to 85.
Yeah, that's very true. And, you know, that army that was lost for both players, it's going to be a little bit harder for for MMA to rebuild it. You know, he's only making so many siege tanks per minute here, and most of that was Marine Marauder for Optimus, which he can just get right back up. They don't really mean anything. And if you can trade them, better off for you.
He just wants to continuously bludgeon MMA until MMA's out of this game. He's going to go for the second attack again. Note that he can't leave, MMA can't leave his base with anything like an SCV because it'll be shot down by those auto turrets.
Yep.
It's actually good that we're seeing auto turrets used a little bit more.
Well, auto turrets are actually quite
Well, they have like 150 HP, and they actually stay out for a really long time. So, yeah, you know, they can have a lot of utility even after a battle's won, just occupying locations. And MMA looks like he's prepared, but
my God, here he goes. A lot of damage being done here, and I think
definitely needs to target down the Banshee. That actually, I don't know. You know, the one siege tank on the high ground, or two rather, is doing enough damage. It looks like Optimus is going to just go around here.
All those units there are very badly hurt. About one more tank splash, and most of them will die. And of course, MMA does know that. Brings in his Hellions and starts cleaning that up. And he holds, man.
And another drop.
Ooh. Very nicely done by MMA. Continuously dropping all over the place.
And actually, guys, their SCV count's pretty even, with MMA slightly in the lead at 38 to 31.
Yeah, that's a pretty big deal, too, because that's where Optimus was actually making a lot of ground, was killing SCVs during these battles. But with these repeated drops, with MMA not giving up on it, the game is very close right now.
And it looks like MMA is about to take a third base here. Something that's not entirely clear if Optimus is even prepared for.
Optimus, as you said, Taste, he's just trying to bludgeon MMA right now. He's not made another command center yet, and he's going Marine Marauder Siege tank.
Uh-oh, Hellions now going to go into the main.
This is going to make Optimus all in.
Yeah, Optimus, I think, will have to all in after this because, well, actually, Optimus did a really good split there.
He did. But here he goes once again. And,
now I think Optimus might be dead.
He's in a lot of trouble, that's for sure. It's 22 SCVs to 41, 3 bases against 2, mech against Marine Marauder Medevac. Nothing looks good right now for Optimus. His best shot is actually to use his medevacs to drop on top of the siege tank line of MMA, because he only has 1 Viking or 2 Vikings out there right now.
Even then, I think, I don't know, even if he forced the orbital to lift off and move out, I don't know if that's enough. But we'll see. You know, Optimus has surprised me with some of his engagements here.
MMA is surprising me with some of his positioning right here. He has 3 siege tanks in the front of his third base, and the rest are just kind of sitting behind. Well, finally he is bringing them up.
Does Optimus even know about this third base, or is he about to walk into it?
I think he does know. Yeah,
okay, he does know. All right. I wasn't sure if he just saw siege tanks set up there, if he saw...
Oh my god, and MMA is so smart. He realizes that, hey, my opponent is making a strong move. He's brought his SCVs out, but here we go. Optimus going around the side. MMA gonna have to reposition. Nice unit.
Does MMA actually know?
He does now.
Okay, now he does.
And a siege on that high ground will make this impossible to attack up into.
Looks like Optimus is going to commit anyways.
Point defense drone would be beautiful here, and there it goes. Those Marauders doing absolutely nothing for a little bit at least, and as that does wear off, they do start to help out quite a bit more. But Optimus' supply is absolutely plummeting right now. Does break through, but there are some more siege tanks. But oh my god, only a few more in the back.
You know what
here.
it is? It's the Marauders. They're actually just killing the siege tanks so much.
Yeah, he just barely had enough to actually break through everything.
I am actually so shocked that worked.
Yeah. Well, you can't have just naked siege tanks. He should have had a few more units in there,
he's
too.
He's stimming under the orbital. The orbital is getting into the red now, or will be. And if he destroys the orbital, this is going to be BAD.
Bad.
That spells bad.
Well,
Optimus is really surprising me with some of his successful attacks. Uh-oh. I bet he really wishes he finished this depot wall.
Well, it did buy him some time there. And I just love this non-stop harassment by MMA.
You would think Optimus would have fixed this little situation by now and finished that wall in.
Right now it is 49 SCVs to 16 with MMA way in the lead there. But Optimus has gotten his third base up. And the army of MMA is really quite weak. Well, you know, in those low numbers, Marauders own mech.
You know, the funny thing is, it's not entirely clear if MMA knows that he has that much of an SCV lead. Oh, these guys are wiggling around. All right, stop hiding. No going AWOL.
And Optimus just going to have to keep up some of his aggression. But here we go. More and more Hellions coming through here. Does he know about that third base? No.
He does send 1 Hellion over there.
Oh, wow. Beautifully done right now. And he's going to just fry even more SCVs. Optimus, his economy is just falling down to nothingness.
Oddly enough, though, Optimus is MacGyvering his way into staying in this game by actually still having this army that's good. The problem is he has 8 SCVs. So,
yeah, against 49.
You know, he just needs to stop this counterattack. He needs to stop being the offender for the time being and just chill.
MMA right now needs to just super turtle, use it. Oh no! Oh, that was an opportunity for Optimus.
Yeah,
he waited a second though. Yeah, and now he's in a little bit more trouble. Will these SCVs be able to hold this off?
That should be GG actually.
And Optimus just is having nothing left, man. It's getting worse and worse for him, but he killed off a good amount of SCVs there. 28 SCVs to 12 at the moment.
This is the most low econ TVT I think I've ever casted. Like, they're on 3 bases.
Yeah, we're at 27-minute mark, and they are still sitting here struggling to have any SCVs. Neither of them really defending well at all, to be perfectly frank. Both of them are defending quite poorly, which, well, at the same time, being aggressive in quite nice ways. You know, it's a two-headed coin.
It's not a one-headed coin,
no, man, it's two-headed coin, right? Man.
All right.
3 sides, 2 heads, and the tails. That's what it's all about, Tasteless. Tri-coin.
All right, taking out this Hellion.
41 supply to 83. MMA way in the lead there. What a messy, messy game. 36 SCVs to 13.
This is the messiest. This is like the mud wrestling TVT. All right. A 4th orbital now floating. Or is that actually... No, that's actually the orbital from his main. Is it? Can you check for me?
No. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. Okay.
Oh, wow.
So he's
oh, no, wait. That's not. That's actually his 3rd, and he's floating his main to somewhere else. He's going to take a 4th.
All right, that was confusing.
And he has those...
sensor towers up.
Beautiful use of sensor towers. Good placement.
MMA got these sensor towers a little bit late. But it's going to pay off now because, that's why you want to have sensor towers in this phase of the game.
Well, nothing he can do now, Tasteless, losing so many SCVs there once again.
All 3 Hellions escape.
11 SCVs at 35. Wow. That is some pretty poor economy. And, well, MMA just kind of following those exclamation points around the sensor towers. Really looks like MMA should be able to take this relatively easily. Just keep on making some more units, you know, push out somewhat slowly. And just Marines and Marauders, literally there's like 1 medevac on the map. Almost no economy for Optimus. He just simply will not be able to stop anything more than once. Maybe one more time he can stop an actual aggression, and then MMA should be able to just roll him over. The economy difference is just too great.
Well, I've never seen a Terran like Optimus get... you get down to 8 SCVs and he's like still in the game.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, the MMA is going to have to keep on trying too. This is like not a game that's actually over.
Quite true. Hellions just keep on doing some great RAS, and with that +2 and with that blue flame, they're doing 28 damage per shot. Splash damage to light units like Marines and SCVs. It's pretty sick. Pretty sick indeed. It means they one-shot anything.
This is the moment where MMA can actually, I believe, just overwhelm its opponent.
Yeah. It's going to have to siege up half and the other half. And nice split here. Doing the best he can, but that's going to be a GG. And there it is.
That was a perfectly timed out GG as well, Artosis.
Not quite as good as yours, but I try.
You good, man. Well, MMA, look, he won that game, but I think right now MMA is looking at that situation like, Jesus, man, that guy had 8 SCVs and I was still having, like, struggle to kill him. Optimus is actually terrifying Terran vs. Terran.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a wild game, I have to say. There was just so much back and forth with SCV numbers. And, there was so many times that MMA got broke where I felt like he shouldn't have gotten broke, but at the same time, he's dropping Blue Flame Hellions and coming right back into the game.
Optimus,
okay, I understand.
Optimus had just defended his workers, he would have won that game. There were like 4 or 5 times where he should have won that game. Yeah,
like 2 Blue Flames just running in and killing everything. Yeah,
we had so many moments where, like, Optimus somehow wins this battle back in MMA's expansion. We're like, wow, Optimus is really good. Then we're like, oh, but 2 Blue Flame Hellions killed all his SCVs.
Exactly. It is hard at sometimes to actually defend against the Blue Flame Hellion drops. But imagine a sensor tower, 100 minerals, 100 gas.
Yeah.
You're going to see it coming. You're going to be able to save your SCVs for the most part.
Yeah,
and
even just a sensor tower.
He had done that one time early on. Yeah, I think you're right. I think he would have been able. It would have been a much different game.
That wall would help too. Yeah. At his near the outside of his second base.
His supply dropped so much. He's like, I can't build any more depots. I'll look like a nub.
Yeah, he's like, well, I only have 8 SCVs. I can't take one of those SCVs off to finish that wall in.
Yeah.
All right, our next map is going to be Taladirum Altar. And we're going to get that underway momentarily here as the countdown has started. MMA against Optimus. 2 excellent Terrans, but only one will move on. Let's find out who that's going to be. Now the game is loading, and we're going to get this underway. I'm Tasteless. With me is Artosis. Together, we are the Casting Archon here at the GSL Codex.